Hey basketball players, today I'm going to be breaking down how LeBron James is such a great passer. Okay, whether you hate him or love him, he's actually a pretty good passer in basketball, and today we are going to be breaking that down. So let's get down to the iPad, let's get down to the footage. Okay, so in this first clip, we have JaVale McGee. He is passing the ball to LeBron James after a made basket. Now, the first thing that we see is LeBron James. As soon as he caught that ball, he turned and he is looking down court. Now, I know a lot of players will want to put the ball down right away and then start dribbling down court. And that's not something that we want to have done. Now, the reason behind this is because when you're able to make a pass down court and it's an open pass, we see how he's looking down court still, and he's making that lob pass down. Now, the reason why he was able to do this, let me break down some of the defenders so you as a player can be able to do this and emulate this in game. So first off, what we see is this player from Dallas. He is backpedaling, so he is going to be out of the play. So if there's any player on that side So if there's any player who is over there, he is going to be unable to be able to get to that player in time. Next, we have this player right here. Where is he facing? He was probably, before the camera got to him, facing that direction with his back towards the net that is over there. In which case, if any player is within line of those two players, which there was, as we will see here, we had Anthony Davis, who was in line with those two players, and they were both facing the wrong direction, as we can see right there in that clip. So, LeBron James was able to see this. He was able to see that he had a player leaking out who was in line with those two players who were right now being caught off guard or not in the play. And now, he is able to make that pass through over the top of those two players, and because Anthony Davis is able to finish, he is able to finish with a dunk. Now, obviously, with younger players, you're not going to be able to finish with a dunk. However, you will be able to finish with a layup. Now, in this next play, as we can see here, whether or not you want to be a good passer like LeBron James, or if you just want to help your team win, we have a player right now who is saving the ball. This doesn't have to be necessarily saving the ball. This could be an inbounds pass as well, or a steal, or even a defensive rebound. If you are facing this direction, right now, this player, he has two players who are leaking down court. They're both facing that direction. If he takes a quick look left and right while he's getting that ball, or use his peripheral vision, he's going to see JaVale McGee is being covered right now by whoever that player is, and LeBron James is not being guarded right now. Another thing with LeBron James, he is probably calling for that ball. As we can see here, he looks like he may be calling for the ball. He is currently looking at that player. So, whether or not he's calling for that ball, he's going to be able to then hopefully get that player to pass to him. Now, if you're that player who just got that rebound or just got that steal, the first thing you should be looking at is not thinking who's down court, but thinking who is facing down court, who you can now tip the ball or pass the ball to. So he gets it to the LeBron James, and what's the first thing that LeBron James does? As soon as he knows that ball is coming towards him, he is looking down court. Right as soon as he caught that ball, check that out. He is looking down court right away. He takes not even one step. He plants his foot, and then he passes it right away. So he makes that pass to Anthony Davis. Now, let's look at the defenders right now. We have one player sprinting back, he's doing his job. We have another player sprinting back, he's doing his job. We have a player who's up here, they're probably going to be playing a zone defense. I never watched this game personally, but for this player to turn around at half court, they're probably playing some kind of a 3-2 zone, or his defender may have been LeBron James. Or the player he's defending may have been LeBron James. Now, we see this player here. He isn't doing anything. He is actually turning around to face the ball, yet he has a player on the other side of him, between him and the basket. And that is one thing as a defender you will never want to do. So, LeBron James makes that pass knowing that the defense is out of position. He has one player who is in position right there. This guy, he is in position. He receives that pass, and look at the defense now. They know they just effed up, and there's nothing they can do. Especially Luka Doncic. He was the one who turned around facing the ball with a player behind him, and guess what? How this is going to end? Yep, that's going to end with a dunk. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the no-look passes to draw defenders. Now, in this play, we have LeBron James coming down as if he's going to be running a play. Now, he is currently dribbling in this direction, and he is looking also in this direction. He has two players down here on defense playing essentially a 1-1 zone, because all three of their other players are over here preoccupied with players for no reason. Because let me tell you right now, especially at the youth level, you're not going to have too many players in the fast break or dribbling down court after a steal or a missed basket who are going to be jacking up shots that far away from the basket. They should not be worried about players that far away from the basket. They should be getting back home and being able to then defend their net. But LeBron James notices this. He notices that he's got a player wide open over here. He is looking over here to draw defenders towards this side of the court, so that he now is looking in this direction, either making the defenders think that he's going to pass to Davis, or maybe Davis is going to set up a screen here and LeBron James will go around. And in that case, we would have Green coming out over here, and then LeBron James may have an option for a shot or to a pass to Davis after the roll, or he may have a pass over to Green for a 3. These are all options that they can run. However, with him looking in this direction, it's going to make those defenders think, oh, hey, he's going to have quite a few different options right here. We should probably defend this side of the court, which is what happens, and it leaves this player wide open to take a shot, in which case he passes back across his body, which I know some coaches do not like. There was also another player over here, which is why one of the players should have been over here, but this guy is caught way out of his defensive zone or even coverage. And that leaves that Lakers player to have an open shot. Now, coming again over here. Now we're going into the bounce passes. Another thing that makes LeBron James so good is he's so strong that he's able to make a really good bounce pass. And this is a skill that many players who are younger, they tend not to do too many bounce passes. They're not strong enough. They can't get the ball through defenders, but it's actually a really good tool to be able to use. So here we have LeBron James making a bounce pass over to a player who's cutting right like he should in the fast break, free throw line extended, cutting in. Now, LeBron James, he's able to make that bounce pass, and there's a reason why that's useful. So number one, with that bounce pass, if he was to make, right off the bat, a pass straight to that player, this defender right here may have a chance to knock that pass away. But with it being a bounce pass being lower, it's going to be even harder for that player defensively to be able to get that ball. As we can see here, it's a pass that is down here instead of up here. If it was up here, this defender is going to be able to knock that easily away. But down here away from the defender, number one, is going to be really hard for that defender to cover. However, moving along, if the pass was a chest pass or a lob pass, Luka Doncic, I think that's Luka Doncic, he would be able to have a good chance of knocking it away. But with it being a bounce pass, it's going to be a bounce in to him. And now we can see that because it was a bounce pass, it stops Luka Doncic from being able to cut it off. And because now Luka Doncic is caught out of position, it's going to be now allow Luka Doncic to have the inability to take the charge in this spot, and now he needs to move out of position so that now this player is able to go in for a basket. As we can see here, there's nothing Luka Doncic is able to do. This is another great example as to why LeBron James uses a bounce pass and why you should too. Now, as we can see here, we're going to have 3 defenders who are going to be in the way of a pass to Anthony Davis. Most players will try to do a chest pass right to him, try to cut the defenders or split the defenders with that pass. But instead, why risk it? If you've got the strength to be able to make that bounce pass like LeBron James just did, got it through the defenders, he was able to bounce the ball literally right between those 2 players, so they were unable to get that ball. Leaves him with an open dunk or a layup in this case. Here's another example again. LeBron James makes a bounce pass right in front of that player. That player's still looking at LeBron James, by the way. And that ball bounces right in front. The only way that defender is going to be able to stop that play is by going out of position to kick that ball, and he doesn't want to do that. He should also be kind of watching this man too, because that man right there is going to be able to defend LeBron James if he drives. So that's not good defense at all. That's bad. But as you can see now, he turns the defender, and well, that's just an open layup. Now this one's a little bit of a fancier bounce pass, but now we're actually talking about cutting across the key to be able to get the ball to the trailing cutter. So what we're going to be having here is LeBron James. He's cutting across the key. The reason why you want to do this in a game is because now you're going to be drawing multiple defenders over towards this side of the court, which is going to be opening up a lane right here. Now, by opening up that lane, as you can see, it's quite literally a nice wide open lane. One of 2 things can come from this. LeBron James can make a bounce pass, but he can make a pass to, in this case, Dwight Howard, who is a fantastic dunker, by the way. And now Dwight Howard's going to have an open lane towards the basket. The only secondary option that we have here is Dwight Howard pulls in a help defender to defend, in which case then he can just kick it out for a 3. But let's see what happens in this play. He gets that ball, and because he's such a great dunker, and this player is caught way out of position for help defense, this guy didn't know what the heck was going on because, well, let's face it, his back is towards the play. And Dwight Howard's just going to smash the rim. That's just what he does. So we're going to see this same strategy again, but without it being on a fast break. So this strategy again, we have a back screen by Davis. It's going to now have LeBron James cut across the key, which is now, there's a player over here who's on LeBron's team. That player's defender's right here. If LeBron James attacks this defender, that means that he's drawing that defender, especially if he cuts across the key. Now, by cutting across the key, which he just did, he's drawn 2 defenders, technically 3, and now he's passing the ball out for what's going to be an open 3 or an open drive toward, or a possible drive towards the rim. Now that player did recover really well, but if this was a better 3-point shooter, he could have stayed back here instead of looking to attack, and could have had, even though it's a deep 3, he would have had a 3. Now we're going to see it one more time. Now, he is cutting across the key. He's trying to attack the key, which now is going to be bringing this defender in to defend that. Now, of course, if you're a strong player anyways, you're going to have 3 players around you. But it's LeBron James. But basically what we have here is now this player is caught out of position. He's trying to help out his teammate to defend LeBron James. Now, because the reason why is because he's now cutting across the key. LeBron James kicks it out because he drew the extra defender by cutting across the key, and now that player could have had an open shot if he was a faster shooter. And that's just a nice pass, by the way. Like, get the ball into the high post. It's a 2-3 zone that they're playing, so he could have held it for a second, drew that player up. Anthony Davis could have drove and could have been an alley-oop to Davis. But either way, still a nice pass. Get the ball to the high post against a zone. It brings up these baseline defenders away from the baseline and basically allows players to cut from the wing. Now, I hope that this video is able to help you as a basketball player make better passes in basketball. There's a couple of strategies that you're able to take away from this, I hope, and I'll see you guys in my next video.